We're on. Should we keep this in?
Yeah, I don't care. My bad. Sometimes I'm not ready.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Tug of More.
We're so glad that you're hanging out with us.
That's true.
Here, just a conversation between two friends.
That's him and me.
Where we talk about where we are and, more importantly, where we want to be.
That's right.
The tension, the tug between today and the elusive
and
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We love you tomorh.
You're
keep
only
seeming,
a day away, but also maybe 3 years.
And maybe tomorrow never gets here.
I don't know. Yes. So,
how have we been doing, Julie? Have we been posting content, or have we missed some weeks?
No.
We posted last week, but 2 weeks before we did.
Yeah, we were out for 2 weeks.
Sorry, I apologize.
You were at a camp.
I was
on a vacation. I don't remember. I think we made one. We made one in between the vacation and the camp, right?
We
Is that
and I
right?
have
I don't
been,
even know. We have
though we're
hardly
friends,
seen each other.
We have not seen each other
Like this.
We just saw each other for the first time in 3 weeks on Sunday.
Yeah, it was
and
a
we
minute.
barely even said hello before
That's
service
right.
started. It's like, hello.
Hello.
Are we still friends?
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Cool.
No, yeah, there's been a lot happening. You went and spoke at a camp. What's funny is you went to my hometown.
And you went to my hometown.
I did not.
No.
I did 5 years ago.
If you ended up
But
in Flint without me, that would be
that would
very
be very
odd,
weird. I don't know why I would go there.
situation.
But you went and spoke at a camp in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so you were gone for a week with your family. That was fun?
Yeah, I was in Tulsa for some friends I went to school with. They're
Yep.
pastors there, and so they're doing their own youth camp. And so Rachel and I and Lily and Titus went,
That's
and
fun.
it was fun.
Good.
It was fun. Had a good group of kids.
Yeah.
And
You had a pool at your Airbnb.
we got an Airbnb, so the kids were loving it. They thought that they were living in heaven.
Yeah.
And the house that we got was a tri-level.
three floors.
Yeah, but not really 3 stories.
Yeah.
Like 3 half stories. They're only
Okay,
like 5
yeah.
steps apart. But our
right.
kids, and they had like a buck hunter video game.
Oh,
But like an
exciting.
old one, like
Yeah.
like 1994,
Like an arcade game.
Yeah, and Titus thought that we were staying in a mansion.
Yeah,
it
I'm
was not.
sure.
It was smaller than our house, but it's through. We don't have any stairs in our house.
Do you remember that though as a kid?
Yeah,
Like
thinking
everything
it's so
seemed
big.
way bigger than now when you go back to it, you're like, oh, I thought it was bigger than this.
So we've been traveling a bunch.
Yep. What? Oh no. Oh, you're gonna say it, aren't you?
I don't want to though.
You're gonna he's gotta make a public confession. It's okay.
Public confession is that bad? So with all
No.
these other pastoral scandals, it's not a public confession.
No, but you said you made a video, but then you didn't post it. So now you can just talk about it here.
Guys,
that's what this is for.
I know. I just don't want to do it. In 5 weeks,
In 5 weeks.
I've gained 13 pounds.
Well, it's not that bad.
It is. You know how long it took me to lose 13 pounds?
No,
I've lost
not-
about 60 pounds
Yeah.
of body fat, and then I've put on skeletal muscular
Yes.
mass.
The thing about
but I've
boys-
gained 13 pounds in 5 weeks. I'm so mad about it. I went to the gym today, and it was horrible. I was weak and slow and stiff.
Mad at yourself?
Mad at myself the whole time. My shirts, I'm pulling on them so they're not all sticking to me. I'm so mad.
Boys,
So I'm a little bent out of shape.
don't be bent out of shape.
I am bent
You're
out of
just
shape. I
getting-
bought these new shorts.
Okay. Can't wear them right now?
No.
No.
I could.
But you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Good thing. No, but the thing about boys, y'all, it takes you less time, I think, than us. The thing about girls is we gain and lose 5 pounds on any given week, any given day. Like, not even based on just like hormones, but also like water weight. It just can be anything. And that's what's really annoying. But for
We
boys, you don't do that. But
No, I weigh the same thing every morning.
you are faster to lose the weight when you decide to do it. So
Well, see, that's the thing
That's
is that
right.
my palate has been destroyed. I've destroyed my palate over the last 5 weeks.
So now
and
you have to go on
I
a rice and bean fast so
I
that
don't
you
know
can get
what I
back
need to. You know what I need to do? I need to cut my tongue out of my mouth.
That's not going to work.
Except this is my
I
this
was
is
going to
my
say, this
job.
is your moneymaker.
Golly, and so I'm a little mad about it.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this: if you've been trying to treat yourself and you fell off the wagon, that's okay. Get back on it.
happens.
Jesus still loves you. I went to the gym this morning. I've been eating good for
12 hours?
not less. How long have I been awake? I've been eating good for today.
Today.
Pulling
Hey,
it together.
today is
It's
today.
hard on vacation, man. It's
super
so
hard.
hard
It's
when you're
super hard.
traveling, when you've got stresses from that, when you don't have your kitchen, you're not meal
Right.
prepping.
The only saving grace of our vacation was that we weren't actually resting, so we walked like 22 steps every day. And so that was the
Oh, so
only...
you're still 22,000 steps.
Oh, 22,000. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're
Not
eating
22.
garbage, but you're running around
But I'm
Disney
literally
World.
getting it all, burning it all off.
No,
and
not
so,
me. I'm preaching,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm kind of tired after that.
Yeah.
And I've got my kids with me, so you know what they want? Canes.
Right. And then Cane's again.
Lillian is like addicted to chicken fingers. It's
Really?
like, oh, she wants chicken fingers. And then we went to BJ's,
Uh-huh.
and they got the Pazookies.
The Pazookie. Whenever, here's the thing. The funny thing about our
So
friendship.
yeah, so your boy's not feeling the best about himself. I feel it. It's all, but I'm gonna. I'm gonna
The
deal
good
with it.
thing
I'm gonna treat
is
myself.
you're stopping at 13 and turning
Yeah,
it around.
yeah, not 35.
You're not going 30. Yeah, you're just
Golly,
going
it just makes me
turning it
mad.
around.
Makes
It's
me mad.
fine. Your kids ate the Pazookie, which is a funny story because
Yeah.
our kids are 10 years apart from each other. And so my kids are like literally 10 years exactly older than your kids. And so you remember this season, long time ago, we went out to eat together and we ordered Pazookies and our kids devoured them so fast.
That Rachel and I, with no kids, are sitting there laughing almost at Aaron not even able to taste his dessert.
Yeah, and-
he's paying for it.
Right. And probably a little bit like, what's going on with these kids?
These
Like
vultures of
Yeah.
children. These children are wild and unkept.
and then this week
These
you say-
Barts are not adhering to
Yeah, they-
First Timothy's
they are
regulation
not
of
taking
elders.
care of their children well. And then this week you sent us a picture and you're like, remember that time? Yeah, that just happened
They
to
had
us.
the
Yes.
deal where you get 3 of them. If you don't know what a Pazookie is, it's like a cookie that's cooked in this little tin pan.
Like a
with
skillet,
With
yeah.
a skillet with a chocolate or with an ice cream on top. And I'm telling you, my kids, they were essentially standing on the table. Not
Yes.
really, but
no,
it was
but
like,
right. They're just eating it so
guys,
fast.
you just ate a whole meal.
Yeah.
What's happening? So yeah,
It happens.
it happens.
Yeah, kids-
And then I already talked about my bloopers at camp.
What?
My chocolate, my blooper
Oh,
chocolates.
your bloopers. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and so yeah, I just got to get unblooped here
It'll be
because I'm looking blooped.
No, you're not
I
yet.
am too. I had a shirt I was going to wear on Sunday, and I put it on. I was like,
And you took it back off, put it back in. See, now you know what it's like to be a girl. This is how
I
we
do.
live our life all the time. Look, Julia's saying, mm-hmm. It's what it is. 5 pounds.
Yeah,
She's
she's
eating fries.
eating
saying
French fries.
5 pounds.
y'all need to talk about the creator to that. I don't know nothing about that.
What?
Y'all girls.
Yeah, no, it's just
weird.
it's hard. It's hard to be a girl, but it's probably, I guess, hard to be a boy too. I don't know.
Okay, let's
Never
see.
been one.
I'll tell you something else. Our
What?
truck got stolen.
Oh, we haven't talked about that on the pod.
our work truck.
So Trustin is gone at this camp speaking, and I get here on Monday, and I had preached, so I'm like a little holy hangover. I didn't get here probably till like 10, 15, 10:30. And I'm in my office. I'm doing like some emails, like hadn't really seen anyone. 'Cause sometimes when I would get here and no one notices, I just like stay in my office and like they didn't notice I'm here yet. So I just get some work done. So it's like almost 11 by the time somebody comes in my office, and then McKinley busts in with Brady, and she's like, Did you hear what happened? And she's laughing, and she says, our truck got stolen, our truck and trailer got stolen. But you know my kids, they be joking with me all the time.
Yeah.
Like all the time they're telling me a joke and like tricking me, and I've been falling for it. So lately I'm like, I'm not falling for it. And so I was like, no, it did not.
Yeah, get out here.
And they're like, yes, it did. And she's laughing. And I was like, stop it. That is ridiculous. Stop telling me that. You're just lying and teasing me. And literally, I'm standing there saying that to her, and my phone rings, and it's Enrique's face on my phone. And she goes, that's Enrique right now calling to tell you that your truck got stolen. Or our truck got stolen. And so I answer it, and he's like, hey, so, and he tells me about it. And so my first thing was, no one's told Trustin, right? Like, just leave him. Don't bug him. Don't. Oops, I just kicked my phone over.
No, Tim called me at
Tim
like 8:30.
called you first. Yeah.
Early.
Yeah.
You're holy hangover.
Yeah.
Tim's anointed and ready to go to battle.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what
Monday.
he was here early. Tim was here pretty early.
Yeah.
And he calls me, and I was like, I don't know, call Enrique, dog. I'm in Tulsa. I don't know what to
Yes.
do. We have insurance on it. I'm mad, but that's not going to help anything.
Right. And so I didn't know until
So
then. I was
thanks
like,
for
oh,
trying to
dang.
save me.
I was trying to, because I'm like, there's nothing you could do, but I know you, and all you're going to want to do is fix it. And
Yeah,
there's
fix
nothing
it.
you could do. And so, yeah, we were able to see all on our cameras. So then by about 11:30, the whole team is in this tiny closet where you can see all our security stuff.
Uh-huh.
We're all in there together watching the like recording
Mm-hmm.
of them stealing our truck. And dang, we were all ticked. We were all ticked.
Yeah.
Everybody at a different point left the building, and then later at staff meeting the next day, everybody confessed, like, I went in a drive in my car and was so angry
Yeah.
and yelled out loud. And like we all had done it, because at a certain point we're like, golly, what's going on? But yes, so tell more of what happened after that.
Well, so Fort Worth PD found the truck
Yes.
and the trailer in
Yes.
different locations.
Different places.
So apparently the thief, they must have just gotten spooked.
It had to be.
They
As we're talking about it,
They
I'm like,
dumped the trailer in a neighborhood, and then they took the truck somewhere else, put it on blocks, and took tires off, rims off, stole the catalytic converter.
Did it take the bumper too or no?
No, which is so surprising because this truck that still has a aluminum flatbed.
Yeah.
Just the bed's worth $3,000.
Yeah.
The bumper's worth $800.
Right.
And so I'm like, the wheels I bought used on Facebook for $400, wheels and tires for $400. So you cost us all this hassle. They broke the window out. We had to pay $500 just to get out of impound.
Yeah.
Then I had to get it towed. Now we're dealing with insurance. So, every church I've ever been at has never owned a truck.
No, correct.
They've been big churches and they've only ever had a passenger van.
Yes.
And so anytime we had an event, anytime we had something to move around, I'd use my personal vehicle. And I just had a little Jeep.
Yeah.
Or I had to find a guy in the church who had a truck, who had a trailer we could borrow. And it was a huge hassle.
Yes.
And so one of the things I've been committed to as pastor is we're going to have transportation to get stuff done.
That's true.
And we've always had it.
We've always had it.
We've had too many trucks and too many trailers. We've thinned the herd.
And what's funny is
And
the
now it's
week
stolen.
before, we had a conversation about even thinning the herd even more because we've got more trailers than what we need right now. And what was funny was we decided 2 trailers we were going to keep, and that was one of them. And so the whole time I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that's the one we were going to keep. And then there is a greater praise report, though, is that, so that's Monday. The previous Tuesday, rather than our regular staff meeting, what we did was we had a work day.
Oh, this is
And
good.
we had taken out everything that had been in. We had the 4th of July. We had camp. We had a wedding for a lady's kid. All this stuff had happened.
crazy lady.
And so we had all this stuff in trucks and trailers. That trailer had all of the production stuff from camp. And thank God,
$30,000 worth of stuff.
Tuesday, we unloaded it. So that was my very first question to everyone. I was like, what is in that's literally the first thing I asked. What was in the trailer? What was in it? Oh my gosh. And then Tyler was like, thank God, nothing. Because we took it out last Tuesday. I'm like, okay, God, you are good, at least that. But then maybe we could have got more insurance money and bought new stuff. Who knows?
So I told Enrique, my Jeep got broken into when I was in college, and they stole. Remember, you used to have those books that you put CDs in?
Yes.
And I had the big one, and it was packed full of CDs.
You could fit like
100
9,
CDs.
You could fit like 9 a page or something, a sleeve. Yeah.
And but every CD was burned.
Well, yeah, you worked hard for those.
Yes.
You didn't just buy them.
Yeah.
You worked hard.
Yeah, none of my CDs I purchased. But the insurance company gave me like $15 per CD.
Oh, they did.
And so my Jeep getting broke into paid for a whole semester of my college. It's actually great.
See, God works in mysterious ways.
He works in mysterious ways.
He turns all things for good. Well, what was fun is Julia and the team took all of the footage from it, and they made a video that we put on the internet. And hey, our church, they be gangsters.
They went super sleuth.
They were sharing it and talking about it and posting about it, and we did find it. So 20,000 views on our video. Yeah.
Not even boosted. Just on
Only Instagram.
Just on the gram.
But on Facebook alone, we had over 250 shares, right, of it. And that's just of our shares, like our church account shares.
Yeah.
Not personally. Like Rachel had 10 shares on hers, and like I had people share from my post.
The guy who stole it, he has a great big eyeball tattooed on the back of his elbow, and I'm like,
the evil eye.
I'm like, this dude's going down.
Yeah. People were like, oh, I think I know that guy.
One of our more church thugs is about to find you and take care of you.
Yeah, they are. If they would have, I'm telling you, if Tim or Tyler or Enrique would have found that guy on that day, they might have been in jail for beating him up right now. They were all so, they would have probably got beat up themselves, but they were all so angry. But you know what? I was mad, but also a little bit like, of course that just happened, you know? Sometimes you are so upset about it, but then other times you've been in a season where you're like, yeah, just come on. Let's bring it on more. Bring it on more.
Have you ever been personally robbed?
Yes, one time. And it was the most, weird feeling. I went to, it was 100% my fault. I went to a gas station. What's funny is I remember thinking, I don't need to stop and get, but back then I was Mom, I don't need to stop and get a Coke, but I did. Stopped at QT to get me just a Coke on my way home. My in-laws were coming in town. At that time, they lived in Arizona. They were coming in town that night. And so I'm like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get stuff packed up and get everything clean and ready for them to get here. I go in QT.
It's a long setup.
Listen, I'm just telling my story. I got to have you emotionally where I'm at.
I'm ready. I'm with it.
I need you emotionally
I'm a
prepared
mom.
for
My
where
in-laws
I
are
am.
in. I'm a little
Because
stressed.
normally
I'm not
at
buying
the-
cigarettes or liquor.
No
I need
liquor,
a Coke.
no cigarettes, not even a hot
Okay.
dog. I go get a Coke. I
Ugh.
get back in the
You
car.
want to buy a hot dog anyways.
But I just took my keys with me. I just ran in, and back then it was like 75 cents for a 32 ounce or whatever. So I grab like a $1 bill and I take my keys. I go in, and in my head, I'm sure I clicked the lock. But I did not click the lock. But I don't notice till I get home. I get all the way home. I'm unloading the car, and I'm like, "Where's my purse? Where is my bag?" And I cannot find it. And I realized I had put it in the front floorboard right here. And I guess literally I was in there for a minute and a half, and for
Just
like
somebody pumping gas next to you
somebody
saw you run in.
saw me, yeah. And so they just opened, but because I guess I didn't lock it, which normally I'm like, but I didn't click the button, I guess, or whatever, or maybe I did and they opened the door at the same time I did. Like, who knows? So the window wasn't busted, whatever. But we had just gone and seen the musical Wicked. We had just gone on
That's
a
why the
trip.
devil.
Yeah, that's what it was. We had just
The
got on a
Wicked.
trip.
You lit that
and I
wickedness in your
had,
life.
you know how, Julia, you be paying a lot of money for the little point and shoot digital cameras? Back in the day, I had a point and shoot little digital camera, right? And it got stolen. What I think to me was the worst is they had my ID, so my address, and then all of my personal things. It felt so violating.
Yeah, violating.
And I just remember laying in bed for like a week, like that feeling of like, you punks, how dare you? But then also, feeling like someone violated, even though whatever, I don't even know who it was.
It's no fun to get robbed, y'all.
I never went back to that gas station again. Okay.
I've
that's
been
all.
robbed a couple times.
Have you ever been robbed like
No.
not at gunpoint but like in
No.
with him?
I'll tell you a funny story, though.
Go.
I was in Africa leading a mission trip, and I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm riding in the front of the bus. Now, in other countries, the driver's side's on the other side. So the driver's over here, and I'm in the front seat, and I've got like 15 kids behind me on the bus. And I'm there sleeping, right? And some guy comes, stops in front of our van, gets out with a gun, comes around to the driver's door, puts his gun in the window, and takes the wallet of the bus driver. You know what I did the whole time?
You were asleep?
Yeah, dead asleep.
God knew.
God knew.
Because if you would not have been
Yes.
asleep,
you'd
be dead right now.
I'd be dead. I am 100% convinced. I'm 100% convinced
100%.
that the Holy Spirit was like, rock-a-bye, trust, and
100%.
stay asleep. And this guy lost his little Velcro wallet and $30 or something. I would have been dead. Because
You
20-year-old Trustin would have went full gorilla
I
on
was
this.
going to say,
on
in
this
your
dude.
40s, you still are looking to
I'm kinda
help
looking for a
jump in
fight.
the burning
Yeah.
fire or
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine in your 20s how
So, that's my
completely
closest-
irrational you were about it.
That's my closest. I got in many fights I didn't need to get in because
Well,
I ran into stuff.
Yeah, but that's fine.
All
That's
right.
fine.
So if you're trying to rob us, don't. We have video cameras. I want to install like motion activated paintball guns on the top of the building. How
Yes.
sweet would that be?
They were
Start lighting those dudes up.
arrogant. They were just strutting around like they didn't even care. They knew of certain cameras, and you can tell there's other cameras they didn't know that were there.
Yeah.
Because there were some where they were like hiding their face and like really, and then there were other times they were just walking. That's how we saw the eyeball and all the things.
Eyeball tattoo.
So if you know who it is with an eyeball tattoo, message us. We want to know who they are. We'll share the love of Jesus with them.
No, we'll just send the popo.
We'll
just
also send the police to their house.
What
Okay.
else?
I don't know. That's a lot of things for just a week, but I don't know. A lot of good stuff.
I was
That's all.
glad. You know, a funny story. This Sunday, I was in the lobby before service, and I was talking to Haley Milstead.
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking for maybe a minute, and she's looking at me kind of funny, and she goes, "Hey, Pastor, go like this." I was like, "Huh?" She's like, I got you. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, I don't know what to do. I went and had a booger in my nose. And so I was so thankful for Haley Milstead for helping me out.
I thought this was going to be like she was joking or
No, I'm giving her public accolades.
Good job. You're not
Thank
a-
you. This is what friends do.
That is
this is
what
what
friends
people
do.
that care for each other do. I am her pastor. She's known me for a long time. I am her husband's employer. But do you know what? She pushed all that aside and she said, "Hey, human being.
I'm going to make sure you don't embarrass
hey,
yourself."
Human, you have something in your nose. I want to help. I'm going to say this awkward thing that makes me feel a little weird. It might make you feel a little weird, but I'm going to help you out, and
That's
I'm
true.
glad that she did.
Yep, you
So
know-
if you ever see me with some of my nose, come and tell me. Now, if you see I've gained 13 pounds,
Don't be telling him about that. That's
I already
rude.
know. You just
That's
shut.
rude.
You just shut up about it. There's a couple
Yes.
people in my life can say that, and it's not you.
It's
Better watch yourself.
No, it's true.
I'll take out the thief aggression on your tail.
Yeah, well, you know why you know me, I'm always trying to like take it into and then what we're going to talk about.
I'm setting you
And I
up.
know.
I'm bump set spiking
The
you,
reason
Whitney.
why she feels comfortable to do that is because of the culture we have here.
Yeah.
And it's based on one of our values that we first grabbed onto and declared, but had no idea how actually deep it would go and how actually intentional God was being in giving us that value because she felt comfortable doing that to you because she's a daughter of the house.
Yeah.
And what are the values that we have here that we believe strongly in is that this house is built on sons and daughters.
That's true.
That this house is not a place that is only just like one leader or a couple of strong leaders, but it's a house that uses all the people from little to big.
Yeah.
And we're all children of God, but especially it also speaks to the next generation that we're building sons and daughters, but this house is built on those who are the children of the house. And so Haley, man, she's been here since she was in college, right? A long time.
She's a daughter for sure.
And she's a daughter of the house. And so she was like, hey, Papa Bear, you got a booger in your
Let me help you out. Value of the day.
Value of the day. I'm so excited about this one.
This house is built on sons and daughters.
Yes.
So we're in a series in the podcast
Yes.
talking about our values. Our values are how we do what we do.
That's right.
They're not a mission statement.
Nope.
They're not what we do. What we do is reach people for Jesus. Every
That's right.
church has a mission statement. They're all basically the same thing. Love God, love people.
Right.
Make disciples. Go into all the world.
Right.
They're all the same thing. Reach people, love God.
Make people followers of Jesus.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. Okay. But values are how
That's right.
you get that stuff done.
Yeah.
They're culture guards. They're anchors that hold you into a place. And so we've already talked through a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So today,
We're talking about this one.
this house is built on sons and daughters.
Okay, I want to talk about first
Okay, go.
where we got it from. So we went a long time ago, remember
Yep.
this, to a church up in Keller area north of us, and they were a growing church. And I don't even know how we got invited. I think somebody you used to go to college with, right? Maybe. We got invited to this conference. We go there, and the truth of the matter is...
The one that doesn't like women in ministry?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, the truth of the matter is...
Yeah, we have an awkward story about
we
this.
realized that when we got there, that they weren't really people that we were aligning in a lot of theological things about, but we could still learn from them. And in a session, like a breakout session or something, they talked about over their bathroom doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have, in the men's door, they say son, and on the women's door, they say daughters. And they're like, because we are all sons and daughters of Jesus, and we want everyone to remember that. And somehow, in that moment, it was you, me, Tim, and another guy that were sitting there. It like wrecked all of us.
Yeah.
It like hit us in this not weird, Holy Spirit way of
Yeah.
like, write that down. Like that
Yeah.
is something you need to hold on to. Yoink. And like we stole it. But then it developed later into a value. Go. Keep saying more words. What do you remember about that? Except that later they told me that, yeah, I could talk to the secretary and not the executive team.
No, I remember that Rachel was there.
Yeah.
And so Rachel, they had a lead pastor session.
Yes.
And then they had an executive pastor session. And so Rachel went with me to the lead pastor session.
Yeah.
And they didn't want her in there.
No. Which is weird because I'm like, shouldn't you at least be okay with wives in ministry?
Yeah,
like,
so they escorted her out.
yeah, that was weird.
And then Whitney was in the executive, but was the only female in there because they're not even allowed to be pastors at all.
Yeah.
And so then they had a secretary. Not even a man would come and talk
No,
to Whitney. They sent a woman
the man
in
ca-
case Whitney accidentally slept with them
in the
mid-conference.
room mid-conference.
It's so like
he
rude.
literally is up there. He's like, I want to give all of my influence to you. I want to give you all of my wisdom. I've got all of this. I'll meet with any of you, no matter what. Here's my phone number. I'm going to come around, give you my personal cell phone. But he goes around to everyone. He gets to me and he goes, this is my secretary, Julie, and she would love to connect with you. And I was like,
Wait, they let you stay in the session?
yeah, they let me stay
I
in
thought
the whole
they
thing.
moved you.
No, they let me stay in the whole thing. They moved Rachel
Rachel
to one about worshiping kids or something.
or,
I don't
raising
remember.
children
No, they
properly.
moved her, but they let me stay in it. But you just know when you're in a room that you're not really welcome in.
Yeah.
And so I knew by the time it got to that, I already knew that they were like, oh, anyway.
Okay, I remember we had another value that
We had
pushed two ideas together.
We-
We said we give all we have and all we are for those that are following
No.
behind.
Is
Is that what it was?
No.
Something
because-
about those following
No,
behind.
hold on. We still have that one. This is different. We push forward for those following behind was our sons and daughters. We also have, we give all that we are and all that we have to reach all the people.
Oh, yeah.
That's still one that we have. that you just mixed. You just took two and put them
Yeah.
together. But we used to have we push forward for those following behind.
There you go.
Which was like, we're going to do the hard work. It's like, even for me as a woman in ministry, it's like, I'm going to help pave the path. So like Julia and Brady and all the girls that are coming up behind me, they don't have to maybe dig out the path the same way I had to. That's kind of what it meant. It was like, you're going to push forward, keep building the church and keep making new ministries and pushing all the things that, so that the next generation, when they're coming up alongside us, they have a path to go.
Yeah.
But then it changed
But
because
that was just kind of when you're creating values, sometimes you know something's a big deal, but you don't know how to articulate it.
Correct.
And so it felt like we had this placeholder idea, but yet we didn't articulate where the value came from.
because we never really said it that much.
I remember for me, it really solidified in my heart. We did Father's Day service.
Mm-hmm.
And so we always do a photo booth. This is back at our Matlock building.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're doing Father's Day photo, and we can't find Titus. He's somewhere in the building. We don't know where he ran to, or he's playing with a friend or something. And so me and Rachel are there, or maybe he's crying. I don't know, but whatever, Titus is in the photo. So it's me and Rachel and Lillian. And then out of nowhere comes this guy in the church who's probably 50. And he kneels down on his knees, and he stands next to Lillian in front of me, and he's Titus's exact height. And we take the photo.
Yeah, he's on his knees like
and smiles. And it
like,
looks like he's a little kid.
Right.
Except obviously a 50-year-old man.
Right.
And he printed that photo out and he gave it to me and he said, "Thank you for being my father."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Bro, I'm 35.
Right.
Like, I'm not your
Right.
I'm not allowed. I can't be a spiritual father until I'm 65. Because that's what I've seen modeled. And then at 65, I retire and I become pastor emeritus,
Right.
or the global
Global
senior pastor.
What's that guy?
Yeah, that
Instagram
Daddy
Taylor.
Father's house or whatever.
Probably, yeah. Daddy.
But I'm looking at this photo and I'm like, he's a son.
Yeah.
This guy who's 50 is a son. But in the same way that Easton at that time,
Right.
who was 12,
Right.
was a son of the house,
Yeah.
and Tyler's a son of the house, but Enrique
Right.
and Cassandra are sons and daughters of the house. And so like this mindset shift started
yeah.
that this is not only about kids ministry.
Correct.
This is not a value just about youth ministry.
Right.
Now we have it written over the wall in our
Absolutely.
kids check-in space.
Because it is still such an important piece of our culture.
Well, that's where it starts.
Yeah, it is. There is not very many churches like us that I know that have such a presence of young people under the age of 25 serving in the house the way that we do.
Yeah.
We utilize kids from, I mean, your daughter serves in a kid classroom, a preschool
And has for
classroom.
3 years.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go on vacation because she needs to show up to serve in the
right.
roles.
And all the way, and not just in small roles, some in very large roles. We have young adults, we have teenagers serving on our regular Sunday production team. Like, it's a part of who we are, that we believe that there's no such thing as junior Holy Spirit, that the same Holy Spirit that speaks to us speaks to 6-year-olds in the more kids room, but also that you don't have to wait till you're 35 to start using your gifts for the kingdom, but you can use them right now.
And that I don't have to look at the only people that I'm speaking into are younger than me.
Right. No, I was going to say it reaches understanding that we're all sons and daughters. I think was something that then it took such a turn and shift for us to really help us see that, like, we don't get to a point where we arrive.
Yeah.
But that we're all sons and daughters of God in this house, building this place together. And it really has become such a cultural piece for us that it's shifted the way we do everything.
Everything. It's a house that's built on sons and daughters. So and guess what? I'm a son.
Yeah. Right. That's what
I'm not alpha daddy.
right.
I'm a son of the king.
Yeah.
And so it also creates this kind of, I mean, listen, we're the leaders, but it also creates a better understanding of peer.
Correct.
That I'm a peer also. Like,
Right.
I'm also a son.
Well, it takes away this
Competitive.
unnecessary pedestal
Yes.
that is why there's so much damage in the church whenever pastors are human and people are like, oh no, what? No, we are all sons and daughters of God. But then also, yeah, it's such a thing. You know, I was thinking about it. You and I, when we first started leading, there was a book together. We started leading together. There was a book that we read, the Three Kings book.
Tale of Three Kings.
Tale of Three Kings. And it talks about David and David in the
Saul.
Bible, and then King Saul
And Absalom.
And it talks about the different dynamics of those three kings in the Bible and how they led and
I'm
the
so
different
glad
things.
you brought this up.
But for you and I, there was such intentionality in that season of reading it because we were like, we will not, as far as it depends on us, we will not become Sauls to the next generation.
Yeah.
We will not allow ourselves to get insecure or intimidated by those who we are leading. In fact, we will intentionally put people who are better around us, better at graphics, better at all kinds of things. Even storytelling, like all kinds of pieces of leading the church. We're going to put people better than us around us, and we're going to keep propelling them forward and not get jealous and insecure and not push them down and try to murder them when they start leading and when they start doing good.
If you haven't read Tale of Three Kings, you need to go read it.
Any leader should read it. I tell a lot of our team, like, you need to read this once a year.
Yeah, I have read it probably 7 times.
Yeah.
Like over the years.
Yeah, and you
Saul,
can read it in a day.
Saul is the king, right? And then young David comes along and starts doing amazing things, kills the giant, people start singing his name, and Saul gets insecure of the young leader. And instead of promoting the young leader to become king and give him wisdom, he tries to kill the young leader. And this is what happens in churches.
Right.
And I'm at the age now that I could start to get insecure of the next young generation because they're smarter.
Yeah.
They're quicker. They're more relevant. They understand things I don't understand.
They have consumed more content than we have in their short amount of time. Right.
And so you don't want to be, so what I don't want to become is a Saul who is really insecure and so wanting to hold on to my position that I start throwing spears at other leaders around me.
Which it also then doesn't just set culture for us and the ones under us. It also sets culture for you and I. Like, it also is an intentionality to say, even if they're older than me, I'm not going to become a Saul to them. Even if they start winning in an area and I'm intimidated because I used to do that, or I used to lead that area, or I used to have great ideas for that department.
Right.
I'm not going to allow myself to get insecure. Instead, I'm going to cheer them on and say, good, I'm so glad that you are taking it to the next level that I couldn't even take it to.
And you have to be very intentional. You have to guard your heart in the process because over the summer, we've given a lot of this series away. We're in a series right now called The Book for Me. We're walking through the Bible, and I've only preached 2 of 6 weeks, maybe. Whitney's preached, Tim's preached, Phil's preached, Brady's about to preach. Whit and Tim have both done 2.
Yeah.
Just this Sunday, Tim preached, and I'm sitting there, and the church is amening, and they're getting their minds blown.
Yeah.
And Tim is, as the young ones say, he's eating.
He's eating.
No crumbs.
4 + 4. 8. He ate.
How do we do, Julia? How do we do it?
Is that good?
She did better than me.
Maybe not back to back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're only supposed to say 1.
Tim's killing it. And what can happen in me for a moment, it happened.
Yeah.
What happened in me is, do they like him more?
Right.
Whitney, the week before, preached on how the Bible's our foundation. She's up here telling stories. She's got her grandpa's Bible. People are crying. I'm crying. And it comes up in me. Do they like her more?
Right.
That spirit of Saul wants to rise up.
Yeah.
But when you have a value that says this house is built on sons and daughters,
right,
it reminds you that this house is not built on me.
Right.
This house is not built on power leader.
Right. Right.
But golly, so many churches, we screw this up and we build it so much on our personality and our power and on all of our stuff.
On certain personality, on certain groups, on certain leaders, on certain circles.
Yeah.
And it gets really dangerous and can cause so much dissension. I mean, you and I have watched in the last 5 years so many church transitions between leader and the next generation leader.
Yeah.
And we've seen very few healthy ones. Most of them have been awkward, weird, unhealthy because we're
even between fathers and sons.
Yes. Because
I've seen one good one.
I've seen one really great one between a father and son, and the rest of them, I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, because they're burning it all down
Yeah.
for the sake of their own insecurity and pride, and
Yeah.
yet, what you said is so good. What it's done for us is allow so much more growth. Not numerical growth necessarily, not like, we're so famous on the internet, but deep spiritual growth for the people around us, the people we're leading, but the people that we're doing life with, because instead of pushing them down, which is or throwing spears, as you said,
Yeah.
we're instead pulling them up
Yeah.
and saying, hey, come be up next to me. Hey, come ride or die with me. Let's do this thing together. And I think that sometimes I forget how beautiful and awesome it is until I encounter somebody else who's not living that kind of life and who's not intentional about it. And I'm like, oh, dang, crap. You should really take this on as a value in your life.
Yeah.
Because, we talked about it at the very beginning. Like, values are not, everybody doesn't have the same values. That's okay. We all do things differently. But if there was one that I wish everyone could have, it's that one. Because, wow, it's been life-changing for us.
So Saul to David,
Yep.
but then David to Absalom. There's a responsibility in the sons and daughters for them to guard their heart when they don't understand the current king. So in the Bible story, Absalom is David's son,
Yeah.
and Absalom wants to take power, and Absalom is handsome. The Bible says he has long hair. He's a handsome man. Absalom stands at the city gates, and he reasons with men and women of why he should be king. And then Absalom tries to lead a revolt against King David.
His own father.
His own father.
Right.
This is what we see in churches too.
Absolutely.
Is we see, I followed a pastor for 15 years because I felt like the Lord had called me there and did not release me to go.
Yeah.
And I had dozens, maybe 100 friends that would say, when are you going to do your own thing? Leave him. Go do this. Get new job offers. All the things. And I had to, in that season, guard my heart from becoming an Absalom, of calling myself better than the king that I was submitted to. And so for a son and daughter to
Yes.
be safe in the halls of the palace, they have to have their heart right too.
They have a
The
responsibility.
king can't be a
Correct.
spear thrower,
Right.
and the sons and daughters can't be trying to throw a coup
Right.
to overtake the leadership that God's established.
Well, it requires a mutual respect.
It's Haley loving me enough.
Right. Because what she could have done
Yes,
was
is go
gone
and
up
tell
to
8
three other
people.
people. Hey, did you see Pastor's got a booger in his nose?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. That's what she could have done.
Yeah.
But instead, hey, one-on-one, let me tell you something. I
Yeah.
love you. I respect you. I'm going to have an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
And it's a mutual relationship that it's so essential that both parties play their part. And so when I recognize that I'm a daughter of the house, that's a responsibility on me. For my kids, when they were young, I would tell them, like, we're Barths. This is what we do, and this is how we act. And there was a responsibility on them to understand. I didn't say it like, you're not going to ruin our name. But there's an understanding that people know who you are. They know the family you're connected to. And if you're out and about acting a fool, then you're making the Barth family look like crazy people, like people who are not living the life that we say that we are. And there is a responsibility when I recognize I'm a daughter of the Most High, that I have to then be really intentional with how I'm living my life and how I'm representing the family and how I'm contributing to the household and how I'm actually helping build this thing. Am I building it or am I tearing it down? Am I building it or am I just being a lazy son of a gun who's just sitting there? So, what was Tim's line? He said, soaking, and souring. He said
yeah.
he said yesterday, and I'm like, we could be people who just sit, soak, and sour. But when I recognize I'm a daughter of this house, that gives me deep responsibility to take care of it, to guard it well, and to love and care for all the rest of the family that's here.
Yeah. I want to look up a Bible verse.
Okay, do it.
Hired hand
Oh yeah.
runs. So the Bible, let me just see if I can find it.
Google is so helpful. So we can just find the verse right away. Did you find it?
Sorry, we can cut this out.
No, it's fine.
Well, yes, I found it, but it's not. It's
What?
not the whole thing. It's John 10, 12, probably through 15. But I don't want to try to read the whole thing. It talks about how a hired hand runs in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
A hired hand, if you're a shepherd and you have a bunch of sheep and you hire a dude, just hire some guy to come watch the sheep and the wolf comes,
Yeah.
the hired hand's running away.
Right.
But a son
Yeah.
is fighting the wolf.
Yeah.
A son, these are my dad's sheep, is going to stick through the battle. And that illustration is throughout the scripture multiple times.
Yeah.
In a proverb that Jesus tells, all over the place. And I think that, like, if you can build your church not on hired hands, not just your church, if you can build the thing on, like, actually developing people and making them sons and daughters, then when the adversity comes, they won't run.
Yeah. No, it's so good. I mean, in our church, like, actually there are people who are family that work together, but also in relationship and in these things, like, you can hear people say, oh, that's nepotism, that, I can't believe that. I can't believe they're allowed, to be a part or do these things. But what we've understood is that, no, I would rather have a son or a daughter leading.
But we're not talking blood.
No, that's why I was qualifying it. Like, I understand some of my family works here.
Yes, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not just my family. I'm talking about all of the people who work here were first sons and daughters of this house.
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, we've talked about before, we've tried to do a bunch of outside hires of hired hands, people who weren't all the way yet bought into the vision.
Yes.
And it often doesn't work out well because unless they've been here or even visited and been a part and, like, I love this culture, I want to be a part of it, they might not be bought in. They might just be people looking for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And when push comes to shove and you've been at the pig setting up and tearing down for 3 years,
And another paycheck offer comes along.
that sure sounds way easier and better than setting up and loading a trailer one more time and hoping that these volunteers want to come and walk a mile over to the kids' min or whatever.
Yeah.
It is a very different response when you are actually a son and daughter of the house.
And so you brought up the hiring piece.
Yeah.
Like, I've been at churches before that the only hires are external.
Right.
We right now have probably 7 people in the house that if we had the funds, we would love to hire.
Absolutely.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 7 that we right now know of.
Like today,
Yeah.
come on. The finances, the timing, the whatever
Yeah,
God
season,
has us
all
waiting
that.
on isn't
Yeah.
there. And I think that's a unique thing that we've worked to accomplish, that, like, I'm not going to Bible college hiring.
Firms.
No, what are the things they
Yeah,
have, like, a day
yeah.
where you sit down and you just interview?
Fairs. Like,
Yeah, I'm
those
not going to
hiring
college,
fairs.
Bible college fairs.
Yeah.
They're already in the house.
Yeah.
They're already sons and daughters that are raised up and they're ready. And teaching them the Bible is easy.
Well,
Like, there's other pieces that can be taught, but the heartbeat, the values, it takes time. You can't, it's harder to teach culture
way harder to teach
than
culture.
it is to teach the job.
No, but
We can teach the job.
It is not going to lie. It is true that it takes longer to develop in a son and daughter for the job, like that
Right.
side of it. So it's easy when I see a task, a job, especially one that's outside my purview or like knowledge and skill, to be like, you know what? Let me just hire somebody, yoink, that can do it, that can handle it, that can run with it for the task. But for the culture, for the heart, I said it in my message the other day, it takes a little longer to build something stronger. And what we've done
Yeah,
is
wrote
built
that down.
something strong,
Yeah.
built something that lasts and built departments and cultures that are going to stick around rather than hiring it, plugging a hole. And we've done that before and it usually ends in disaster. Like, because
We've got one that we might,
yeah.
an external hire.
I was going to say, I'm going to say
But we've been courting this dude to make him a son.
right.
So there's a lot of crossover
Before, because the expectation
yeah.
is also different.
The expectation is when the wolf comes,
right.
stand.
Well, because when my kids, a lot of the young adults will come over to our house on Wednesdays after youth, and they'll come and they'll swim in the pool, they'll eat the food, they'll do the things, and if they're new, so a few weeks ago they brought a guy named Brian over that I'd never met before.
What's up, Brian?
Brian doesn't have any expectation of how he comes into my house, how he treats it, if he throws his trash away, whatever. He is a guest, and we're going to host him. But Julia and Mitch know that if they come over to my house, they're going to throw their Chick-fil-A away in the trash, and if the trash gets too full, they're going to take it out because now they are now sons and daughters of my house. And like, it sounds like oh haha, cute. No, it's really real and possible that you can treat the same thing to be true in your house.
It's the reason Tyler got mad when our truck got stolen.
Right.
If Tyler was a hired hand,
whatever, it's the church's truck, NBD,
Figure
but
it
it's
out.
our truck.
Tyler's like, that's my truck.
Right. We all have ownership of this truck because it's they stole our family truck is what it felt like.
Okay.
And that does take longer, and you know what it also takes? More of my time.
Yeah.
The only reason Julia and Mitch are so comfortable in my house is also because they know me and Aaron.
Yeah.
Not just because they know Mick and Easton, but it takes more of my time. It takes more of my energy. But Tyler is gonna love you forever and fight for the truck because we've given him our time. We've given him our energy. We've given him our love. And so it's not. It can sound easy to be like, just give jobs to the kids in your house and it'll work out. No, you have to be willing to put in the time and the effort to develop and raise them up and teach them how to lead. Right. To actually parent them.
Father and mother.
Is an actual job that's necessary. Go.
Let me speak another angle.
Okay, go.
So this house is built on sons and daughters. I see so many churches that they just bring in guest speakers. That it's like the pastor preaches. If the pastor doesn't preach, there's a guest speaker.
Right.
A guest speaker is an evangelist. It's somebody from outside the house. It's a friend of his who's a pastor somewhere. And so, like, if a pastor preaches, let's say, 40 times a year,
Right.
that means that the other 12,
Somebody else is coming.
there's a guest coming to preach. And we have worked hard to develop a different philosophy.
Yeah.
That instead, I've worked to develop sons and daughters. That Whitney is just as I'm a son of the house, Whitney's a daughter. That Whitney has a heavy voice in the house.
Yeah.
That Tim has a heavy voice in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to even figure out how to push that farther, which you will see in
months to come.
months
in the
to come.
future to come.
that if we believe that the church should not be built on celebrity culture,
Okay,
let's go there. And that I'm not trying to make myself the key man of the thing, that if I'm not the alpha and the omega, if it's not all built on me, then how much more voice do I need to give away?
Right.
And so like this week, Brady's preaching.
Yeah.
Brady's not preaching because she married Easton.
Right.
Brady's preaching because she has been here and is faithful and works hard and has a gift and a calling in her life, and I believe has an anointing to do it. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work with Brady in her message.
Right.
Whitney and Tim are going to work with Brady in her message. We're going to mentor her and develop her and help her learn how to communicate. And because we have a culture of celebration, she could go up there and crap the bed, and everybody's going to still shout and clap and say amen. She's not going to crap the bed, and what she's going to say is going to be truth.
Right.
And I would much rather have a church that gets excited for a daughter to preach than a church that our attendance doubles because I hire some famous person with an Australian accent.
Right. No, it's so true.
I'm like, yes, we could afford Charlotte Gamble.
Right.
We could afford to bring in any big name, maybe not any big name, because some of these are like wildly expensive.
Correct.
But
that's a whole nother podcast.
Which I mean, good for them.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just being silly.
But I think that it speaks to this value.
Yes.
That there are people that say, "Oh, Tim's preaching, I'm not missing."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that shows that they're connected to another piece of the house other than just the primary communicator. Does that make me a little bit insecure sometimes? Yeah. But you know what I have to do? not be Saul.
Well, and change your mindset. I mean, that's the other piece of
But
it.
that's a win.
That,
That's
yeah,
another
that is a
connection
win.
point.
That when they win, you win. That when they win, it speaks to the leadership that is leading. Like there's a mind shift that has to change, and that's just because we've learned that the wins and the benchmarks are different than what we used to think that they were. What
Yeah.
we maybe were raised believing that they were, and so there's a couple things I want to make sure that we don't not say, but then also we've been talking for a long time. A long time ago, you went to this barbecue restaurant that you go to all the time, and you went there.
We need to
and-
remember my stories. It's so good.
because it was such an influential piece to this conversation, and it also, as a mom whose kids are following behind, gave me so much peace because I was like, oh, okay, we're doing the right thing. Anyway, you went to this barbecue restaurant and you realized every employee was different,
All the staff,
had changed.
it was like through COVID, everything had turned over except the
except the owner.
He's still there.
And you're like, hey, why does this still taste exactly the same?
This food is delicious. Like nothing has shifted.
Nothing's changed. And he said to you,
He looked at me so confused that this was even in my mind.
and he was just like, they know the recipe. I know my recipe.
Yeah.
And I teach the recipe, and they know the recipe.
He said, "What do you mean? It's my recipe."
Right.
And I was like, "The values.
Right.
Oh, we just have to figure out the recipe."
And when they're in your house, they have been learning the recipe
Right.
every Sunday,
Yeah.
every week, every leader meeting that they've been a part of, every life group that they've been attending, every podcast that they've listened to. They're learning the recipe. And so it's not nepotism when people who actually are a part of the house work hard, give to it, are a part of it, actually bring value to it, and also know the recipe, because they're going to cook the same chicken. This is not chicken, barbecue, whatever. They're going to cook it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're able to flip their mentality and go, oh, I'm a great chef or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've taught them a great recipe, and they're learning it, and now they're taking it and they're giving it to the next people around them. Go, what?
I want to do a better job at it though.
Well, yeah, because we always
there's
always more.
This is the tug of more.
Right.
If I'm honest, I'm frustrated at my own self about how we're not doing enough with this. Like we've talked about a more internship, but not internship. Like it's like we need different vernacular
Correct.
to explain what we want to even do, but where we're able to bring, like Jasmine.
Right.
Jasmine has a call on her life, right?
Yes.
She has something that she wants to do with her life.
Right.
She has gifts and talents. I'm like, how do we take Jasmine to Robin Moody, to Michael Bennett, to Titus,
Right.
and Jude? How do we teach them the recipe beyond Sunday,
Right.
beyond the podcast?
Right.
Well, we have a lot of ideas. It feels
Absolutely.
like right now we just don't have the bandwidth.
Well,
to do all that.
and it's all coming into focus. That's the other thing.
It's coming. It's coming.
The part of it is that as you have a value, and then it becomes a more, what is it like? Prominent value. Then it starts to come into more focus because
Yeah.
it's one you're looking at more, and it's one you're evaluating more, and it's one you're really going, okay, this is the heart of who we are. And so I don't think it's all the way. Yeah, it's not. There's not any like, oh, we haven't done a good job. It's
No,
now
I want to do. I want to do better.
I want to do better. And this season we're doing more, and we will continue to. And if we would have done it, it would have been not the right way. Now we're in the space of going, oh, okay, I see it. Oh, I see what we're supposed to do. And one, I'm super excited about it. But two, it is golly, the next generations to come are going to benefit greatly from the intentionality to build a house on sons and daughters
And kingdom.
for the kingdom of God. We said it
'Cause
earlier
the
to each
hope
other.
is that more church is a reproducing church
Right.
100-fold beyond what we can do. Now that does not mean Trustin's face on TV screens across Texas, but that means that Trustin and Whitney's wisdom and heart is reproduced
Right.
in 100 churches across Texas,
Well,
which is different than my face on a screen.
Yeah.
What's more important?
Well, because
My wisdom and my heart in people or my face?
which is again redefining the win and making it look different because
God,
that's
but
not
your ego jumps in because dang, you want your face.
You're just so honest about it, but it's true.
I'm saying all of us
Right. You just want to win. Yeah.
fame and notoriety.
Right.
But when you look at like the long-term kingdom mindset, that this
we
is
said
not
it before.
mine.
Are
This
we
is not
building
mine.
God's kingdom or are we building your kingdom on God, right? Or
Right.
whatever. It's like there's a difference in recognizing like what is my actual goal? What am I actually trying to accomplish? And when we can look at it that way, then, you know, you and I know that song we cried to when we were kids about, you know, you get to have.
Thank you
Yeah.
for giving to the Lord.
That, yeah. I am a life that was changed.
They don't know.
And there's this whole part about how there's a line of people when they get to heaven saying thank you, and they don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
one of them is, yeah, you taught my Sunday school when I was only 8, but then another one is like somebody who, like, you saved someone else and they saved whatever.
Yeah.
You don't know the ripple effect, as Enrique would say, of your yes and what your willingness to give wisdom and impart. And so, what a beautiful opportunity we have. Getting this value and how sweet God is to take us to this obscure place to hear just these 2 words that then we wrote down that then grew into something so much deeper and bigger and like is in the Bible, like you just said.
Yeah.
But that's how he pulled it out of us and got us to pay attention to it
Yeah.
and really see it. And go.
You know what I was thinking? What the Bible says that if you raise them up, they will not depart from it.
Right. No, it's true.
We've had some depart,
Yeah.
but they return.
I was going to say, but the ones we've raised up that depart, they come back.
They return, and even if they don't return to us,
No, return to
they
Jesus.
they return.
Yeah, return.
because you can't deny
Right.
the gospel.
Right.
This is good.
No, it's so good.
Sometimes it's funny because the podcasts that I think that are going to be like not that great, but then we have real conversation are the ones that are actually.
No, I was so excited about this because I'm like, this is a very real and a right now conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
And then also a right now thing that we're reaping the fruit of because it does. Tim always says it takes like, what does he say, 20 years to see the fruit of like kids ministry
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's taken us 8 years to start seeing the fruit
Yeah.
of this sons and daughter mentality. We had to make a lot of mistakes
Yeah.
and, you know, screw it up along the way. But now we're in a season and a rhythm of going, oh yeah, we got it. And so.
And I want to challenge the pastors out there that instead of just looking to hire from outside, take a hard look within. I don't know if I should start sharing names.
What?
I want Michael Bennett so bad.
No. Oh,
Like Michael Bennett is a part of our
Yes.
team, but I want him here
all the time.
all the time so bad. And you know what? Michael is not like a Bible college dude.
Right.
But he was in industry, in like secular workplace. He has all this wisdom, all this experience that guess what? Bible college boy has no idea.
Right.
I don't have any clue. But he comes in with a different perspective. We just hired Ryan.
Right.
Ryan's came in, he's adding value
Everywhere. Not just in the job he does.
Like, look at Enrique. He's a retired military dude fixing airplanes, comes in, and it's like, even Tim. Tim was a Bible college guy, my friend for a long time, but left, went and got a secular job, and he came back better.
Right.
Look, so pastors, stop it.
No, do you know what I heard yesterday?
Look from within.
So
yes, sorry.
this was an exciting thing that I have.
PSA.
I'm going to share because the argument could be, yeah, but what if they do leave? What if they do? What if you've poured into them so much and then they do leave? Yesterday,
Right.
So years ago when we first started, we had this preschool director, Jen Dawson. Shout out Jen, love you so
Jen
much.
CR, what's up?
And they ended up moving back to Ohio where they're from. But every year their son Logan comes into town to see grandma, to see the family, whatever. He is now like a graduate of high school, I don't know, a year or two ago. And so he showed up yesterday and he's here. I knew he was in town. We were looking for him. Rachel and I, we found him. There he is. Oh man, he came and said hi. We hugged him. He sat with us, all the things. After church, I'm talking to him. And did you know that the church in Ohio
You told me.
is paying for him to go to Bible college so that, because they are about to plant churches and they're like, we want you to go and lead a campus.
Well, they're hiring him to be a youth pastor right now.
First, yeah.
Put him through Bible college and then on-ramp him to be a campus pastor.
And I was
And like,
so
instead of
excited.
being mad that Jen and CR
No.
left, I'm like, yes.
I was so excited because one, I already know that Jen and Sierra have gone back to Ohio and implanted the DNA of this house into the church that they have there. But how freaking incredibly awesome
Yeah.
that a son of this house that yeah, we didn't even get to see all the way to the fruition of,
Right.
but now is going and affecting the kingdom of God, and these people are willing to also see he's a son of the house. So I'm
Yeah.
going to invest in him financially. I'm going
Yeah.
to invest in him, give him a chance.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well,
And
I was
so
just-
good job, church in Ohio.
Good job. I was just talking to Ryan Forgy
Oh yeah.
the other day, who him and his wife were on staff here.
Yeah.
And the same thing. They moved
Back
across
to Indiana.
across the country.
Indiana, yeah.
And now he's pastoring.
Yeah.
And we're still connected. He's listening. He's engaging. We're sending him stuff.
What a cool thing
Like,
to get.
selfishly, the Saul in me says, stay in my kingdom.
Right.
Don't go anywhere else. But we can get beyond the walls of this little piece of God's kingdom.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the eunuch thing too, but I don't know if we have time.
Whatever. I mean, listen, they're still here. They're here.
You tell it because you're the one that knows it better.
It gets dangerous though.
Why?
Some of this, it gets dangerous.
Why?
It's just very shaming to other ministries.
But
I
don't
think.
say names of ministries. Just
Oh,
say,
okay. Okay.
there once was a ministry.
Okay, so I was invited to go speak somewhere in the most random, like Nebraska or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I met the dude who's doing worship there. I don't even remember what his name is. I wish that I could find what his name is. And so I'm talking with this guy, and we're just having a conversation. And did Easton go with me on this trip, or did I
Yes.
go by myself?
No, that's the one in Nebraska. You were at a leader. You were teaching a leader thing.
And so it's me and Easton, and you're kind of standing alone by yourself. So we kind of befriend this worship leader guy. I think Easton was there. We'll have
No,
to
he
ask
was.
him.
I remember because they beat on the door. Remember the whole story?
No.
Okay.
And so anyways, I'm talking with this guy, and he's asking me about the church and what our vision is, what we want to do. And so I just spout off all the things. Yeah, we want to do multi-site, blah, blah. He goes, oh yeah, how do you plan on doing multi-site? I said, man, I don't really know. I don't know. This is what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago. I don't know. Maybe we do video venue. Maybe we do like video venue one series and then live speaker the next. Or maybe I travel and I go to these different things and we get some kind of rotation. And I'm just kind of like naively spitballing like maybes.
And you're still kind of in that season of going, how am I going to grow I'm building?
This is pre-Get Off the Throne.
Yeah.
So like if you know Trustin, there's like before Get Off the Throne and after Get Off the Throne. For me, is like there's a transition.
These are the marker moments.
It's a
in your
marker.
life.
It's a marker moment in my
If
life.
you knew him before, you better get to know him now. It's different.
And so he says to me, well, I would just encourage you to be careful as you're looking at having multi-site. He said, because a lot of these churches that have multi-site, they say they're building sons, but what they're really creating is eunuchs. And it hit me in the face. A eunuch is a man that is taken and castrated. That means that
They now cannot reproduce.
They now can't reproduce. He's lost his vitality.
Yeah. His manliness.
His manliness has literally been severed
Right.
from him. And I'm like, holy crap. Because I've got friends that are campus pastors, but they don't preach. They don't really lead.
They don't look at budgets.
They don't have creative control. All they do is greet people and have lunches with top givers and make
Turn the
sure
lights
that
on.
make sure that teams are running and a band is paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're called pastors, and they are. I'm not saying that it's all bad. I'm saying for what I'm called to do.
Yeah, and for the future of the kingdom.
For the future
Because
of the kingdom.
What happens when the alpha of those eunuchs dies?
I mean, we just saw it at Gateway.
Yeah.
We're watching it in real time at Gateway. What happens to their 10 campuses?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, and
Hopefully, prayerfully,
There's
those
people in
pastors can
places.
rise to the
Right.
occasion. But are they pastors or are they eunuchs? Are they sons? Or have they just been castrated and given the title of leader? Dude, and so that idea was just
rocked
planted
you,
in my head in just a quick conversation. And I'm like, as we're hiring these people, I'm trying to think, how do we make leaders out of these men and women?
And how do we not castrate people? Like, I know it sounds, but literally, like, or figuratively, I mean, in their leadership, in their creativity, in the ideas and the anointing that God's giving them, not thinking that we're the only ones who are anointed, but that they have an anointing too. And they hear from God too. And they are also people that God has equipped and ordained to lead in the areas they are. And when you put that mindset on it, it shifts everything. And if you will actually, because we have to keep rereading the Tale of Three Kings. We have to keep every day readjusting and checking my heart and guarding it. It's why it's a value that we haven't even got to yet,
Well,
right?
yeah.
But because I have to keep, because I'm a human. We're human. We have boogers and we fight our hearts. Like,
Yeah.
for real. It's a
Yes.
real thing.
Yeah.
And we have to be willing to do, okay, I'm going to reevaluate today. And then have somebody we can be honest with
Yeah.
and say, hey, today I'm fighting this, or hey, I felt
Yeah.
this, or hey, I got to talk to you about it.
Yeah. When I was young and read that book, I only thought, don't be Absalom, don't be Absalom, don't be Absalom. Turn into David, turn into David, turn into David.
Yeah.
Now, in this season, I say, don't be Saul.
Right.
Stay David. Don't be Saul. Stay David. And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably too young to even be thinking about that in normal context.
Right. But by thinking about it now,
Yeah. I hope I'm great at 65.
well, yeah, but also people who at your age aren't thinking that, they are becoming it, whether they realize it or not, in very small ways.
Well, yeah, the devil attacks us not through explosion, but erosion.
Yeah.
And so if I erode my heart away
Just
in
slowly
20
but
years,
surely,
I'm
yeah.
a spear thrower.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm going to pray for you until your church gets one bigger than mine.
bless their hearts.
Bless their
I still pray for them. So good. Great conversation. If you're still here, wow, you must like us. But no, it's great. I think there's more to this conversation, and we'll probably be talking about it again.
Somebody shot at Donald Trump this week.
Oh my gosh, we're not going to go there at all. It's crazy. Guys, yeah, this crazy thing that happened. Pray for
Can you
your
imagine
country.
getting shot your ear off?
No. I would.
If you're,
I would never go outside again.
This is what I'm saying.
I would never
This is what
go
I'm saying.
outside again.
If you're in a public space
I would never go in a
and
public
you get
place.
shot your ear off, are you going to want to go and stand on a platform in front of tens of thousands of
I
people?
told you.
2 days later?
No.
Dude, I'm going to have PTSD. I'm going to be scared to death.
I didn't go back to that gas station where the guy stole my purse out of my cart and I didn't even see him.
I'm just saying.
I would
dude,
not go nowhere. Okay, we can't talk about it any more than that. Okay,
That's
we
crazy.
love
I'd
you.
be scared as a mug.
I would be so scared.
I'd be having big glass walls put
It's
up around
like
me.
cute to watch on a movie. You know, like we watch movies like that all the time. It's
Oh, yeah.
cute to
Well,
watch.
it feels like we're living in a simulation already.
Oh, okay, stop.
It feels
See,
like.
This is what I'm like, come back.
No, I'm saying, how weird is this story?
Yeah, no, it's a crazy
We're
story.
in a movie.
Yeah.
We realize this is a movie, right?
Next, he's going to be saying, we're in the Matrix.
We're in the Matrix. No, I'm just saying it's so weird.
Yeah,
Like, what in the world?
What in the world is crazy. But okay, love y'all.
Winnie wants me to stop.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
she
so
knows.
nervous. I have no idea. I'm like, I can't really kick you under the table because we're on camera.
All right.
But
Love you
y'all.
guys. Winnie has now shut me up. All right. See ya. Love you.